Morning, everybody. Got Robert with me today, and we are quickly knocking out verses 1 and 2 of Mark 14. And so, after 2 days, it was the Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread, and the chief priests and scribes sought how they might take him by trickery and put him to death. But they said, not during the feast, lest there be an uproar of the people. Now, most of you know, but it's always good to remember, right? Passover and unleavened bread, two feasts in one. They go back to back with each other. The week-long unleavened bread feast following the Passover. Big thing out of this, though, is we have the chief priests and the scribes. So we have the religious leaders, the guys who are in charge, the guys who are supposed to be able to, be the religious role models of the people. They're trying to figure out how they can take Jesus by trickery and then put him to death. But of course, they don't want to have it be an inconvenient time, so they try to figure out how to work it around the feast. And in short, it just got me thinking about how, as Christians, it's not hard to take the scripture and we can find ways to use it however we want to make just about any point. And, with enough eisegesis and taking things out of context, we can get the Bible to pretty much affirm anything we want it to. We just have to twist the scriptures. And that's obviously what these guys were doing, right? They were twisting scriptures because they had something they wanted. They wanted Jesus gone. And so they were going to find some way by trickery to put him to death. And I think that's just the big emphasis, is that even these religious leaders, they can get their task accomplished by simply taking the scriptures out of context and making it say what they want them to say. And quite often when you talk with people and they have something, they have an issue of which they are passionate and of which they want to see, this issue be continued forward, it progressed. They have a doctrine, or they have a desire, because it doesn't have to be a biblical thing per se. I mean, their own personal desire. But if the scripture says something counter, but there's this other scripture, right? And it says, and you'll find that people take stuff out of context all the time to justify their actions. And so that's kind of all I had, was just this long and short today of, if you really, really, really want to justify your actions, you'll always find a way. And you have an advocate. You have someone on your team. His name's the devil, right? And the idea is, if you want an excuse, he'll help you. I mean, he'll volunteer his time and he'll commit to your cause. And so that's the idea, is that if we want excuses, we can find them. But if we want to be obedient to the Lord, then really it's about coming with blank slates, with agendas gone. And if we have something we want, we can lift it up to the Lord and just kind of set it out there like, Lord, if this be your will, right? That's it. Like, you can just kind of set it out there as something, God, you can have this if I want it. But otherwise, we can find it's very easy to make it be our will be done and not his will be done. And that's right where these chief priests, and I think in simple terms, right, these guys are the most religious men of the land, right? I mean, these should be, right? They ought to have been the highest, most respected and religious. I mean, the chief priests of all of Israel. Who else would you expect to be the most religious people in all the land? In a good way, right? I'm not talking bad religion. I just mean, you would hope that the highest up guys, in your denomination or whatever, would be really spiritual men. But no, because they had an agenda, they had a desire, and whatever it is they were using to justify it, they're going to bring accusations against Jesus here soon, and they're able to check the boxes, and they're able to say that, this, that, and the other. So it's just making sure we're not making excuses and we're not trying to find verses to justify our actions, rather than just going to the scriptures daily and letting the scriptures direct our actions. So using them to justify, using them to guide. Two totally different things. That's all for today, folks. I'll see you guys mañana.